Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We are in the Occult Adventures book. We are continuing the War Magic video series. We are on second level psionic spells. I'm going to read through the medium class spell list first of second level spells, and then we will look at what the psychic spells are as well for the same level. When the spells overlap, when I switch to the other class, I'll read the name, but I'm not going to go into any new details unless a new idea arrives. But what we're doing is we're looking at the spells and how they operate and seeing if you could use them in a medieval battlefield to get weird and interesting effects that would allow you to either add chaos to the enemy's side or gain an advantage from the enemy. So, a lot of spells don't fit that category out of psionics, at least in the first level spells. So let's look at the second level spells, see if we can find a few good ones. Analyze aura, read a creature's or object's alignment. That's not going to help you. Oh, emotion, health, and magic auras. That could help you, but it wouldn't help you unless you were interrogating an enemy, or you suspected somebody of being an enemy, as far as military goes. Apport objects, send or receive a small object via teleportation. That's a great way to send messages, messages and maps. I can also see a strike force team, the PCs, breaking into the enemy's camp or breaking into the enemy stronghold and finding either maps or detailed documents and stuff that could be very useful, and teleporting that with that spell back to their side. So they don't have to carry the objects out. The objects are already where they need them to be. I could also see that going awry and say where a battle's about to begin, say two countries are about to be at war, but one country doesn't know it, the party having all of a sudden some orders just appear in them because it's a similar location and they failed their teleport roll. But that's just basing it on regular teleportation where you need to be familiar with the area. Catatonia, make a willing target appear to be dead. That can be great for an ambush. You could say you had a few potions of that. You could pass that around, and this little force could look like it had already been attacked in a battlefield that's already torn up. The enemy's coming through, and then they could get up either while the enemy's halfway through, or they could get up behind the enemy and flank them from behind while the real forces were drawing them out. Cognitive block, add a thought component to all of the target's spells. That'd be great to disable or slow down a wizard or sorcerer or cleric or druid, because now they have to add an extra like action. It's thought, but it's action to cast that spell that they're used to casting a specific way. So if that's the case, to do that, you'd probably have to put that on some ammunition, sling bullets, arrowheads, as a one-use item, and fire it at the enemy. To use it where you're not actively using spellcasters. Detect mindscape, sense the presence and attributes of mindscapes. Not going to be useful in the warfare. Enshroud thoughts, ward yourself against thought detection and memory alteration. That can be useful for your party as well as the higher ups. Maybe have an item that allows that to go on, like a headband they could wear. Hypercognition, rapidly recall everything you know about a subject. Inflict pain, Target takes a -4 penalty on attack rolls, skill checks, and ability checks. Put that on a bunch of ammo. Make it like touch activated or impact activated. Put it on sling stones, make it impact activated. Your second, third, fourth row back in your shield wall has the slings, and they throw the sling stones over and hit the enemy with them and activate that, making it harder for them to fight. Instigate psychic duel. Starts a psychic duel between yourself and another creature. Lesser object possession. Project your soul into an object, animating it. Not going to be useful. Ordinary core, greater ordinary core, as ordinary core plus strength damage. An ordinary core was distract and fatigue target with a creature from its nightmares. So the fact that it does strength damage too, that'd be very good on a one-use weapon, preferably ammunition. Placebo effect, temporarily suppress an affliction or condition. That can be very useful if you have a lot of injured and a battle's going to happen and you don't have a chance to move them, or have a chance to protect them, so they can add their numbers back into the ranks. Purge Spirit, deal 1d6 points of damage per level to one haunt or spirit creature and stagger it. If you're fighting undead army and they have ghosts and stuff, that could be useful. Riding Possession. As possession, but you observe instead of control the subject. Sealed Life. Prevent a creature from transferring life force to or from others. Cecil Spirit. Cause a spirit inhabiting a creature or an object to go dormant. That can be useful if you needed to talk to the subject to help them get a will save, but I don't see that being useful unless you're fighting an army that's completely possessed. So that's the end of the medium's spells for second level. Let's look at the psychic spells. Anticipate Thoughts. Gain increasing bonus to AC on attack rolls and on attack rolls and damage rolls against one creature. Where it's a single target, that's not going to be beneficial for the military. Apport Object, already went over that. Aversion, cause the target to avoid an object or location. It says target, so it's a single person. Now, if you can make it where it could affect everybody, you can put that on, say, a bowling ball sized stone and place it somewhere, and everyone like moves around it for some reason. And that could help you control where they're moving and how they're moving. Demand Offering. Makes a creature give you an object it's holding. Detect Mindscape. Sense the presence and attributes of mindscapes. Enshroud Thoughts. Ward yourself against thought detection and memory alteration. Ghost Whip. Creates a ghost touch whip that passes through objects. That would be very useful. Say you create a wand-like object, but it's not a wand, it's just a wand-like object, and you have it where you can say one word, activate it like a scroll, and it's a ghost whip, and say it lasts a minute, so 10 rounds, and it's all touch. That means if your front line's using it, they can just pass through a shield wall, they can pass through the armor, and do touch damage, do touch attacks against a shield wall, which wouldn't have a high AC versus touch attacks. That can get very gruesome. The downside is a whip, even a regular whip, only does like a D2 or D3 damage. So unless the ghost whip does more damage, I think that its advantage is the fact that you don't have to worry about the armor. And the Ghost Whip's useful against undead creatures because it does lethal damage. And it can pass through other creatures to attack the creature you designate your attacks at. So other than that, it does whip damage. Okay. Hypercognition. Id Insinuation 1. Confuse one creature for the duration of your concentration plus 1 round. That wouldn't be great because you're only affected one creature. Now, put that on a one-use item. Use it as ammo. Hit a portion of the military and their portion of the forces and they're confused. That could be very advantageous, especially if their formation breaks down because of it. Implant false reading, inflict pain, instigate psychic duel, mental barrier 1, gain a +4 shield bonus to AC and resist mind thrust for 1 round as immediate action. Mental block, mind thrust 2, deals 1d8 points of damage per level. So at this level, it'd do at least 3d8. Put that on a bunch of ammunition as a single-use ammunition, and you're going to take out the majority of whoever actually gets hit with that ammo pretty quickly, because most soldiers in a organized military for D&D, that would be medieval setting, are only going to be between level 1 and 5. Like your real experienced ones would probably be level 5. It's your adventurers that reach the higher levels. Or maybe the knights on horseback might be higher levels. But usually they're not. Object reading, oniric horror, paranoia. Target becomes hostile to all creatures. Placebo effect, and thought shield. Putting paranoia on a bunch of ranged ammunition would be great. Thought shield 1. As an immediate action, gain a +4 on will saves against mind affecting effects. That'd be great in potion form if you understand that there's a lot of people that can cast mind affecting effects on you. That could be very useful. So that's the end of that list. The next video in this series will be the 3rd level psionic powers. Until we all game again, guys.